Have you ever heard the saying that we are our memories? Take a moment to think about it. You can tell that it's true because humans obviously rely on their previous experiences to make sense of the present, to make decisions that fit them, and to generally function in a proper way. We rely on our memory to learn and improve. And so it would be interesting to investigate the mechanisms in our bodies that allow us to retain memories and learn. How do you recall the beat of your favorite song, your phone number, or the way that you ride your bicycle? Actually, a more common question would be, where? People might think that we store information in the same way books are stored on the shelves of the library. But actually, information are not stored at a particular spot in your nervous system. Of course, the nervous cells are the ones responsible for storing memories, but they do not store them in places. They rather store them in circuitry. Let's further explore what this means by looking at how neural cells work. A nervous cell is made up of a cell body, a long axon, and terminal ends, where it connects with other neurons. This is a group of neurons. A stimulus that could be hearing a sound or seeing a picture is detected by one neuron, and then a signal travels through a circuit till it reaches somewhere in your brain, where it's processed and interpreted as something meaningful. The stimulus travels as a signal, so one important aspect to perceiving a stimulus is neural signaling. Signals are transmitted through the synapses between neurons. At this junction, terminals of one neuron end on the body of another. More detailed mechanisms occur at the synapse, like the action of certain chemicals, which are presented by the small red circles moving continuously. But a very significant factor that affects how the signal is transmitted is the branching and sprouting of neurons, which basically means formation of connections or synapses that they form with each other. It's important to note that each stimulus provokes the neurons in a certain pattern, so the frequency of the electrical impulse, its direction, and the neurons involved are different for different stimuli. Now that we have an idea of how neurons work, let's try to answer a question: how do we retain memories? So the first time you're exposed to something, the nervous pathway or circuit that is concerned is stimulated. After repeated stimulations, the transmission becomes easier due to chemical changes. Remember those small chemical transmitters that help relay the signal? They're doing it with even more efficiency now. In this case, we say that the transmission in this pathway is facilitated. In other words, it's done more easily. Further stimulation of this pathway will lead to even consolidation of the neural circuit. This time it's not only chemical but also structural changes occur, and the connected neurons sprout. They somehow try to connect stronger to each other. As you can see here, there are more terminal branches on these neurons ending on the other one over here. This is significant because even in the absence of the experience that makes these neurons fire in a specific pattern, they now have more tendency to repeat it on their own. It's like this group of neurons became more social with each other. So basically, these groups of neurons get used to fire together in the same pattern. This explains why recalling something you read 10 times is easier than recalling something you read only once. Ever heard the sentence, practice makes perfect? Well, in this case, repetition leads to consolidation. And this is how memories are retained in circuitry. This is how you get better at riding your bike and playing the piano by practicing. So in one sentence, the nervous system tries to retain the pattern of the signal by repeating, because repeating increases connectivity, and connectivity leads to stronger signals. So it's possible that our nervous systems undergo structural changes and rewire based on what we experience. And in this case, we are our memories in even a concrete sense.